Hello, Daily Telegraph NRL Podcast time. Adam Mobbs here with my regular co-host Michael Carianis and someone we haven't seen for a little while, Phil Buzz Rothfield. Welcome back.
Looking tan,
Sorry, I was on the Gold Coast chasing stories and meeting player managers and the owner of the Titans last week. My column was filed from the Gold Coast, so what's your problem?
No, the only problem is you're referring to it as your podcast when you were never here.
Oh, never here. I missed 2 all year.
Did you listen to Reedy last week?
No.
Well, he did his best at filling in for you in multiple ways. A, he put the voice on.
Oh, did he?
B, he was questioning.
Did he try and impersonate?
He did. Then he was questioning my clobber and asking what brand it was, and then
really?
big note in his own
brand.
brand.
Why don't he get some lines, some original lines?
He just didn't ask the price. That's the only thing that differentiated you guys.
Price is important. Price is very, very important.
Someone did write in about. We had a tweet about his jumper, wherever it was from, and they said
the merino.
It's like it's a bargain basement.
So are people
outlet.
actually watching this on YouTube? Are they?
Apparently, I'm not.
Yeah. Well,
apparently they are.
He picked up a merino jumper when he was over in the UK for the World Cup, and someone from overseas had said, "You do realise that where he bought it from was the cheapest place you could buy clothes over there."
I went to Las Vegas with Reedy for Mayweather and McGregor probably 5 years ago, and I couldn't get him out of the shops.
He's obsessed.
He cannot, and he kept saying, "Oh," and he was putting on a credit card. What's my missus going to think? Mate, he doesn't have too much control of the household budget by the sound of it.
No.
But mate, he bought 3 pair of shoes there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, what's happening footy?
Well, what's happening footy is the Sydney Roosters.
I can break a story here.
Here we go.
Go straight in.
Well, what are we talking about? Cooper Cronk?
Yeah.
His position under threat? I can exclusively reveal why. Nick Politis and Trent Robinson have looked at the Sunday Telegraph tipping panel, and Cooper and myself are equal last. And he's got me on alphabetical order, so they put his photo. So it looks like I'm last, but I'm not really.
Well, you are equal last.
So I reckon they've had a look at the tipping competition and thought, he's a bit like Buzz, he's got no idea.
Does that mean I'm a chance of getting hired?
At the Roosters?
Yeah.
Well, you got your certificates, don't you? I've
I'm
been trying to
towards
push
the
you.
top.
Sorry?
I think I'm on the top. Am I first or second on
How
Sunday?
are you on top?
Hey, you're last. I wouldn't be sledging.
Yeah.
Does that mean your position should be under review
Yes,
as well?
correct.
Yes, please. Please review me and tell me it's time to retire. Please.
We just have to go on Twitter for that feedback. I love your
Do you
banter
think
lately.
I care about Twitter? Don't start me, please.
Serious
Did you
question
see
though.
Gus on Twitter this week?
I
Someone
can't
asked
block.
him a perfectly legitimate question about Wade Graham. And he called him a dipshit.
Not Wade Graham. He called the tweeter.
What was the question? Mobsy, maybe you can get it up for us because I don't think you're blocked.
No, not yet. Well, don't say.
Well, don't
Oh,
say
I
it.
mean-
Like, Gus watches this. I reckon he does.
Well, we'll know if you get blocked.
Yeah,
So it's a good test.
Well, let's see. No,
Can you get that up for us?
yeah,
mate?
there was a question, but look, in the fair income department, which is getting bigger by the day, the Roosters. James Tedesco, New South Wales Australian captain. Joey Manu, Golden Boot winner. Lindsay Collins, Queensland Origin star. Joseph Suaalii, the $1.6 million Wallaby to be. Luke Keary, who's a Churchill medalist.
Yep.
Trent Robinson, 3-time premiership winner. Nick Politis, powerhouse chairman. And they lose tonight. Their season, which is on life support anyway, is officially extinguished for 2023. This is a team
And you're going to blame Cooper for all this?
No, I'm just saying that this is a team who have had the most money placed on them of any team to win the comp because of the deluge of money that came in the preseason. They started really high up there, second favourites to the Panthers.
Yep.
And they're $150 to win the comp now. They're $10 to even sneak into the 8. Have you seen such a train wreck season from a club that promised so much?
You remember just for round 1, the great Reedy and myself valued the rosters at every club, and they were way ahead even of Penrith. So it's unacceptable what has happened this year, and the focus has come onto Cooper and the entire coaching staff at the Roosters, because, Mick, on paper, they have a side that should be up there with Penrith and up there with the Broncos, but it just hasn't happened. And Cooper's only the halves coach, he's not the attacking coach.
Yeah.
But the halves it didn't help with young Walker getting hurt, did it?
How many days a week is he? He's not there that often, is he?
Oh, I think he consults. And look, I barely talk to Cooper.
Yeah.
And I had a bit of a stoush with him on TV because, you know what, I question why he was coaching the halves at Melbourne Storm and why he was coaching the halves at the Roosters. It would a bit like you filing a match report for the Sydney Morning Herald on Sunday and then the Telegraph on Monday.
Is that an option, Mobsy?
Although my good friend David Riccio seems to be able to juggle various media outlets and Reedy and you.
Not me.
I was about to say, someone out.
I don't know. I can't see how you can coach two sets of halves.
Yeah. Well, that's
comment, please, Michael.
Well, that's not the issue at the Roosters, though.
No. But I'm just explaining my background.
Trent Robinson was pretty emphatic yesterday, saying that he said all his staff will be there next year. Do you think that's the case, Buzz?
No, not a chance. Do you think they're going to have a season like this and stick with the same staff? Do you really think?
He was pretty emphatic though, Buzz. Like it's a pretty.
I think Robbo needs more help, mate.
Well, they might bring in more
and
people.
Maybe Robbo won't make this decision. Maybe the board will make the decision. But I am convinced there will be changes there on that coaching staff, and I'm convinced they need to make changes on that coaching staff.
Yeah, it is interesting because it's an easy measurement to work out, like to judge Robbo on those comments. It's pretty easy to work out in a couple of months' time if these people are there or not. But he was emphatic saying, these guys are here, they're not going anywhere. But you don't think so?
Look, and I'm not... Yeah, Robbo's got enough cash in the bank from 3 titles.
Oh, no doubt. No one's...
Right?
Yeah.
And it is going to get to a stage, though, where while his job would never be under threat, not in the next couple of years, I think people higher up are going to have to do a really deep dive into what's happened.
I think they turn over players before they turn over the coach or coaches.
Do you? Who are you going to turn over?
Well,
who the Michael Carianis sackings at East? Who are you going to sack? Come on.
Well, I'm not saying that, but if you look at some of the names, right? You've got Sorlehi, obviously, naturally off contract or leaving at the end of next year. They try and push him out early. Luke Keary hasn't been great. Angus Crichton hasn't been able to replicate anywhere near his form that saw him be part of the Australian World Cup side last year. They're on huge money, all 3 of them. So are they the guys that come under the microscope? Brandon Smith, what happens with him? Do they see him?
Sam Verrills was on half Brandon Smith's money. He's playing pretty decent footy.
Yeah, he's a good player, Sam Verrills. He's a good player. So
Victor Radley's had a horrible
Victor Radley's
season.
had a poor season. He's
and you said you can't sack them all, but we got to be fair dinkum here. And they get so narky about criticism. Like, I thought I had a really fair point that James Tedesco should have gone to that game. But then Robbo's out of his sorts about it.
Yeah.
I've got to go to their Hall of Fame function tomorrow night, so I better be careful if
weren't you part of the judging panel for that?
Yeah, but I'm going to be in the room with all these people on
Who
bagging now. I'm taking Russell Jackson as my guest.
Are you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Rugby League Chief of Staff, Queen's Park resident, shops at Audi. But Roos, absolute tragic. So
he in that room tomorrow night, who are you avoiding?
I have asked for the seating arrangements in advance. Oh, look, at a function like that, I think everyone understands we've all got a job to do. So, we walk into a Dally M function at the end of the year and we've had our disagreements. You have disagreements with people, don't you?
Just you.
You're not just this lovely bloke.
Just you.
Have you had a blue this year?
Yeah.
Who with? Come on, you'd love...
Oh, the most recent one is Jerome Luai.
What for?
That was very good.
Jerome Luai. Should I tell this story?
Yes.
Yeah, of course you should.
Great
it's a podcast, mate. It's our job to anecdote.
Off with Jerome Luai.
What for?
Because...
Is this an ABC problem or a Telegraph problem?
No, Telegraph problem, no.
Yeah.
So,
it came back to bite the Telegraph on the butt.
Post-Origin Game 2 in Brisbane, I ran into him at the airport. And I said to Jerome, Jerome, after his social media post, And he's a guy that I've got along with okay. I've defended a couple of times. And I said, Jerome, you're not a D-head, right? Why do you act like one, right? When you post that stuff.
Just the two of you, one on one?
Just us two of us were just there in the airport. And he took great offence.
Did he?
To it.
Well, so he should. You don't call him a dickhead.
I wasn't calling him one.
You said you behave like one.
Did you agree with his social media post? Where he told everyone to go back to work?
No, I didn't. Okay, who's your second blue this year?
No. The story's not over.
This story's not over. So then we agree. I tee up an interview with him last week, the week before.
2 weeks ago, yep.
Through the club, and I get out to Penrith, and he goes, nah, I'm not doing it with that guy.
Did he say that guy?
No, he called me a gronk. A gronk.
Can I use that in my column?
You can. And then
I love you being under fire.
But he hid away, didn't come and say it to me face to face. So then on Saturday, I approached him at the game. Hours before the game, I went onto the field to say, hey, Jerome, can we talk? Nah. So officially, a line through Jerome Lawrie. He's had his opportunity.
Christmas cards. Those who won't exchange Christmas cards. I've got Brent Reid. You'll be about number 10.
That's all right.
I'll find another one.
You're allowed.
You're off with other people. What are you going to do if Penrith make the grand final? You want to interview the playmaker?
I won't. I'll interview the big one, Nathan Cleary.
Yeah, right. So you are dirty on him?
Filthy. He had his I did nothing wrong. He had his opportunity to man up and speak to me face to face.
I'm going to speak to my producer, and this has got to be the selling point for my podcast.
He had an opportunity.
The Carianis feud with champion.
And I said to him, if he took offence to what I didn't do anything wrong. If he took offence to what I said, I apologise. That was not my intent. But I am not apologising for what I said. And then he wouldn't talk to me face to face.
Wouldn't he?
No.
So what do you do if he wins man of the match, grand final day? You've got the live ABC microphone. No, he's just won the Clive Churchill medal. You're Gonski. You look across at Piggy, he'll be there with 2GB. Even SEN, who rate .02, will have him on. And you'll be stuffed.
I know.
I'm so hoping he wins the Churchill medal.
There might be a media ban and no one will be talking anyway.
There might be a media ban anyway.
It's been a rough couple of weeks with some of my staff members getting called names.
Who else?
Well, you got called a gronk.
Gronk.
Dean Ritchie covered a very good story about Dora Creek up in the Upper Hunter competition.
I saw that.
The team that nobody wants to play because...
What did he get called?
Well, one of the readers on Facebook got on there and said, "Bulldog, you cat weasel." I don't know what a cat weasel is, but Dennis Bullfrog Ritchie got himself a new nickname as a result of that.
Can I tell you something? Dennis is not a good brand in Newcastle because he's still got the Andre Ponga thing hanging over him.
Yeah, you're right. So, that's where those nicknames are coming from, the Hunter Valley.
Yeah, wow.
You know he's a racing ambassador for the Foster Tuncurry Race Club that heads up there over January for their big race day. Is he a celebrity?
Oh, mate, superstar. Absolute superstar up there, the pup. Have you had any other feuds?
No, not for a while. I think that's the only one that...
Nothing of Sterlo proportions or Gus?
No. Tavita Pangai, I interviewed him during Origin camp. And I said to him, there was reports that you'd been shopped around last year, now you're playing Origin. And he said to me, yeah, you're the one that wrote it.
Oh, do you?
And I completely... That's good on him. I've got no issue with... I've got zero issue with that.
Yeah, but that's not a feud.
No, not at all. But he answered the questions, it's one of those ones where it throws you out because you're not going in there expecting
I reckon I'm having one of my better years. I've still got the old ones going.
No new ones?
Not really, no. And I've kissed and made up with a lot of people,
I love Buzz's off seasons. He rings me and so one lunch a week in the off season to go and just pour some feuds. Yeah. Just water under the bridge.
Who's your first lunch this year?
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Well, it is us.
You owe me the one.
Yes.
What's the name? We're going to talk football.
Yeah, well, speaking of feuds, I did a little bit of research because I'm big on Twitter research. Do you know that Gus Gould has called 29 people dipshits on Twitter over the years?
How do you know?
I've just searched Phil Gould 15 and the word dipshit, and it's come up with 29 examples.
I'm going to use that.
The most recent one where
I'll credit you.
People
My source out of mobs.
People were asking him about what position are we planning on playing Jamin Salmon next season when he joins. And Gus said, I've watched Jamin's football in Oztag since he was a 9-year-old. I have long believed that Jamin will become another Wade Graham. Now, one tweeter responded, what? A fringe first grader that sits on the bench is a defensive liability and ruins momentum in attack, because that's all Wade Graham's been this year, which I thought was pretty rough. To which Gus, to his credit, replied, it's better to be thought of as a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Take a height, dipshit.
Fair enough. I've got no issue with that one.
What? I don't think it's the way of a general manager of football to be...
It's probably not entirely appropriate, but that
just block him, mate.
That bloke's a gibber.
29 occasions, Buzz. There you go.
Yeah, well, I've just written that in my notebook, 29 dipshit. Yeah, source out of mobs.
You got any feuds, Mobsy, as we're delving into it?
No,
come on, mate.
I think I'm all right at the moment. I'm not on the coalface as much as you guys, so I can just sit there and answer calls and say, look, I'm as disappointed as you are with Michael's behaviour. I can't believe Phil wrote that.
Our entire staff, Crawls writes the heaviest staff. He just smashes breaks. He'd have a few.
Oh, yeah. Ready, fire, aim.
Yeah. Tackle.
Speaking of Gus, he's brought himself into the limelight a little bit in the last 2 weeks by having a crack at 2 premiership contenders. Well, he actually doesn't think one is at the moment. Last week it was the Broncos, saying they didn't have the defence to win the title.
Yeah.
And this week he was saying that Souths at the moment are very far away from being genuine premiership contenders. And not only that Latrell is yet to own the big stage in front of 50, 60,000 people. Now, he's since come out and said, I meant as the star fullback for a club, which he didn't refer to at the time because obviously he's done it at the Roosters.
Covering his tracks.
He's won a couple of titles at the Roosters. Latrell, he helped win that grand final. What was the pass that he threw?
Tedesco over on the left side.
Yeah. Question, is he right? Are South genuine title contenders?
I think South are genuine title contenders.
They're not going to make the 4, Mick.
Still think they're genuine title contenders.
When was the last time a team won from outside the 4, Michael?
Canterbury.
What year?
95.
How many years is that? 30?
Now you're testing me.
27. 28 years. So...
Was that a test, by the way?
Sorry?
Was that a test?
No.
I just write down here. Buzz agrees with Gus. 10-16 on Thursday, August 3.
Well, I don't think you can win the comp from outside and the law of the stats tell you that.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Still think they're a premiership threat. Are you prepared to write them off?
Oh, someone's phone's buzzing.
It's on silent for once, Buzzy. Take it, mate.
Oh, we don't have a number.
Travel person.
Your travel agent?
No, it's I'm going to Brisbane next week.
Oh, wow. No pod?
No, I'm just going for the day on Wednesday.
Up and back. He'll be back Thursday.
Fair enough.
He's run it up the tree. He's done the right thing.
Yeah, I have. I've definitely run up the tree.
He's a hierarchy man, Buzz.
Anyway, what about Mobsy yesterday? I'm on a day off. Right. Yep. Dear Phil, very official. Can you please complete your compliance training? So I spent about 2 hours learning.
I know, they're long, eh? Yeah.
Oof, yeah.
I'm not real good with compliance training.
Listen, I don't mind a little power trip, but that one gives me particular joy.
Do you feel?
But seriously, look at that south side. I just don't think they're good enough to win from outside the 8. They're not good enough, mate.
Outside the 4, yeah. I think they are. I think they are. I think they can go on a roll deep in. I think they're probably the only side outside the 4 that can win the comp. But I can understand sort of what Gus is saying in a sense around Latrell's premiership credentials, but I don't think it's Latrell alone. You look at South in the last 5 years, 4 prelims, 1 grand final appearance, and they haven't won a comp. If you look back in a couple of years' time and they haven't won a premiership, you'd have to say the likes of Cody Walker and Damien Cook and Latrell, Cam Murray potentially. It's been a disappointing period in a sense, or a missed opportunity rather than disappointing period. And I don't think it's Latrell alone, but it's all those guys as a collective that have been there throughout that period if they don't get the job done.
Tell you what, just watching what Cody Walker did so effortlessly in Origin, Latrell's return last weekend, 16 runs, 160 metres, whatever it was. The expectation is that he needs to get more involved, and you saw that a couple of times when they'd gone a few sets without him touching the ball. But when he did, he injects himself at the right time. And I think people just need to get over the fact that he's not the high involvement fullback that you want him to be. He's not going to be that guy. But what he does do is that X factor. And when he needs to win games, he does it. And I think they're dangerous, Buzzy. I think Campbell Graham, Alex Johnson, Jai Arrow.
They are dangerous.
Yeah.
They can win. They can get in there and they'll knock off the 8th team. They'll finish, 5th? It's the week out. Look, they could get the Warriors after that. Definitely capable. They could get into a grand final qualifier.
Yeah. And then if you're in a grand final qualifier, you're a premiership chance.
Yeah, I guess so. So
have I swayed you, Buzz?
No, you haven't.
Oh, okay.
But having a look at those teams that are likely to get a home prelim if things fall away, Penrith and Broncos, that's tough to beat in Brisbane and down here in Sydney. So so much to look forward to, because Panthers Storm Friday night is huge, but despite what happens Friday night, I think Saturday night's massive. Ryan Papenhuyzen returning for the Storm in Queensland Cup, Sunshine Coast Falcons. What a pickup. I mean, we see what impact Nathan Cleary has had in his return to Penrith, and now he's fresh and he's got 5 weeks. His body's going to be right to go. He's going to be peaking for finals time after missing Origin. Ryan Papenhuyzen, if all goes to plan, and I think everyone's crossing their fingers hoping it will, what an inclusion for them.
Oh, a huge inclusion for Melbourne, and it's good to. Firstly, it's great to see him back, and I think he'll obviously have to spend a couple of weeks in the Q Cup, but with how many weeks do we have left in the NRL? 5 weeks, something. You'd expect him to play some part of the regular, all going well, right? Or comes back and he's confident in his body and gets a couple of 80-minute performances out in Q Cup. I think we'll see him at the back end of the year initially as a bench player, like we saw him do so well when he made his debut, and then if all things going well, we might see him start at some stage.
Nick Mooney's been one of the best fullbacks in the competition this year. He's been outstanding. He's their goal kicker. And Papenhuyzen has been out for so long. I don't want to see him moved from fullback, Mooney. I agree with you. A super sub, though, during the finals, he'd be far more beneficial coming on when other footballers getting tired and just blowing the... Papenhuyzen ain't going to blow a game open anyway in that early stages. I just think he's great number 14.
I think potentially by the last round of the regular season and then the first week of the finals that, he may be able...
Who'll kick goals for him, I guess, Munster?
Papenhuyzen. He's a good goal kicker.
Yeah, but when you come back from bung,
but Meaney starts. If you look, they've got some centre problems at the moment. The Melbourne Storm.
Right.
Olam's been dropped. So sure. Meaney stays. I'm not dropping Meaney. I'm just shifting him, but not initially. Buzz Papenhuyzen will come back as that 14 and grow into the role. And if they feel like he's got the legs to go 80 minutes, then I'm playing him at fullback eventually.
Yeah.
So where does Meaney go?
Either centre. I think probably centre.
Right, because you got Coates and Warbrick on the wings who have been really good, and their return carries are great for the Storm. So
Warbrick's nearly Rookie of the Year. The West Tigers fullback's another one.
Buller.
Jacob Preston for mine would be right up there.
Yeah. I love Will Warbrick.
He'd be the oldest Rookie of the Year in a long time. Will Warbrick, is he 25?
Yeah, Buzz will have it there. What is he, Buzz?
Who we talking about?
Will Warbrick.
Well, he is 25 years of age, Adam. And he has scored... I thought he scored more tries than that. 12 tries this year. Played 19 games. He's a big fella, isn't he?
Yeah, I think you'll find he scored a lot in recent weeks, but I think he's very much come alive after he's settled into this role.
Xavier Coates scored 12. And he's played 17 games, Warbrick. I think Penrith are good things, though, down in Melbourne.
What's going on with Justin Olam?
He was dropped, wasn't he? Yeah. Obviously some defensive deficiencies with him, and obviously a massive call with Remus Smith injured as well. So two new looks.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was he Dally M Centre of the Year last year, Justin Olam, or the year before?
Definitely has been. Yeah.
His form is down. He's missing tackles that he'd never miss previously. And it's Bellamy picks his best squad each week.
Yeah. Can anyone get near the Panthers this year?
No, I think
Broncos.
I think the Broncos can. I think Brisbane have the firepower in the middle of the field to combat Penrith's go forward, and then they've got as much attacking exuberance as Penrith have. So I think Brisbane can. I honestly think South can.
Another question, we're just talking about rookies of the year. Just had a look at a guy playing centre for Penrith against Storm, Zach Hosking. He would be in my top 3 buys of the year.
And I think he technically still qualifies as a rookie. I think 5 games.
Oh, does he?
Oh,
no, because he's played multiple seasons.
Name me a better buy.
Yeah.
Name me a better buy, Michael. I defy you to.
Well, and especially looking context.
No, you're right, Mobsy. He does qualify as rookie of the year.
But what about the context of this, Buzz?
Yeah.
The Panthers lose Viliami Kikau. They sign Luke Garner from the Tigers, who's an established first grader. You get Zach Hosking, signed basically on the cheap for an opportunity, and what a season he's had. Amazing.
And mate, he's filling in the centres.
So
Mick, who's the best buy this year, Michael? Kieran Foran's been very good for the Gold Coast.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Who?
Just looking through Manly, Titans, Warriors. Warriors. Metcalf has been there longer.
Probably
than
Reece Walsh. Reece Walsh.
Reece Walsh.
Yeah, Reece Walsh.
Would be one for mine, I'd say.
Storm haven't picked up anyway. What about the Knights? Jackson Hastings been a nice buy.
He's been good. Yep.
Jermaine Asako, Hamaso, Tabuai Fado have been good.
Go through all the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But no, Hamaso's been great. Yeah.
Very funny, Mick.
Oh.
Hey?
Oh, wow.
Okay, well, of course
you're the one that nominated Zach Hoskin.
Feel free to use this word from Gus. No.
Dipshit.
Who else is there? But no, he'd be it.
I'm rolling this.
Jermaine Hopgood.
Hopgood, yeah. Good one.
See, when you've been around as long as me in journalism,
how long's that?
You've got a pass to come off the schedule and introduce content like buys of the year and rookies of the year, no matter what.
You got to come up with better nominations, though.
What's off the top of the head, mate?
Oh, yes,
I haven't done any research.
That's unusual.
You did leave yourself open for that.
How do you rate on Sundays? Sorry.
You know who's been one?
Who?
Dylan Walker.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Very, very. I'd have him in the top 3.
Yeah, that's a very good call.
And, anyway. Doesn't matter. Because I was about to break my origin.
Who's going to win the Dally M medal? There you are. Who's going to win the Dally M? It won't be Nico Hines.
Payne Haas.
You reckon?
Yeah,
I know he was leading.
I think he just, under the new format particularly, I just think he'd collate points.
Yeah. I think he'd collate points. And with Nico dropping off and Nathan Cleary missing games, Sean Johnson making moves.
Sean Johnson's the other one, Buzz.
He'll be halfback of the year, surely.
Yeah. Who do you think wins Dally M?
Johnson's a chance. Haas is a chance.
Harry
I'm unprepared.
Grant.
I'm trying.
Well, stop throwing questions that you don't have the answer.
I know it'll be no one at Eastern Suburbs. Roosters, I've just gone through them. Penrith, Cleary, Melbourne Storm.
It won't be Cleary.
Won't be Munster.
It won't be Cleary. He missed too much time.
Yeah.
I thought Harry Grant had polled pretty well too.
I tell you who, and he's come from nowhere, probably too far back because of concussion. But I reckon Ponga, in the last 6 weeks, would have got major points nearly every week.
Yeah.
How good's it been as a
a
league fan to watch him back to his best?
Yeah.
It's just, and they're so good to watch at the moment, the Knights.
So really Ponga and Walsh, best 2 players in rugby league to watch.
The top one, like I said, the top, Payne Haas was at 30, then Cleary, Grant, Hines, Reece Walsh. And Sean Johnson was 8 points behind, but obviously with the new system, it's not hard to claw back. So
I reckon
you don't take as many points off each other as teammates now when you have two voters. So I still don't agree with it being anonymous. I like accountability, Buzz.
So do I. I'm a big accountability man.
Your point before about Kalen Ponga, what do you think the signing of Jack Cogger means for that club? With now you've got Cogger, Jackson Hastings, Lachlan Miller, Kalen Ponga. How do we fit them all in? Tyson Gamble.
We've got a listener question. Broncos by 40. That's asked that exact question.
Oh, really? Right.
What does the Cogger signing mean for Hastings? Hastings has a history of short stints at clubs, and I can't imagine Cogger signing as a pure backup. It's a bit harsh.
From a distance, from 150
on a 3-year deal too.
From 150 kilometres away from Cronulla to Newcastle, I think Jackson Hastings has had a terrific season.
Yeah.
And I think he's very much part of Ponga's success and Gamble's success. They are not hardly the highest part. He's just had a good year. And I would back him to further develop in Newcastle. I don't know. Whenever I watch Hastings, I look for reaction after tries are scored. Does he get a cut or does he do a high? And they're all over him.
Yeah, no,
he's
well.
fitted in well.
Yeah, he's settled in well there. And you look at the search that the West Tigers have gone on for a halfback. You know, they had one there.
Had one there.
And they just didn't give him a crack.
How is your mate Pasco Fiasco going?
You're the one that's been defending him for the last 12 months.
Well, he's not coaching, mate. He's not coaching.
So he's your man.
So you're going to rip him a new one here?
Not right now, no.
All right.
Not right now. He's all right.
How's your mate Tim Sheens? He is a feud I've had this year.
Is he?
Yeah. Got him the job.
Oh, now there we go.
Ask the question, would he be interested?
Should we all have lunch again?
I don't think he'd come.
But no, just on that, I think Jack Cogger will be a Adam Clune replacement. Clune off contract at the end of the year, but it is a long-term deal. 3 years for a potential backup half, I find interesting, but he's not putting any pressure on Jackson Hastings. He'll put pressure on Tyson Gamble.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, why don't you continue with your listener questions?
Oh, we're going to go straight jump to okay.
Wow. The listeners then dinner?
Well, there's some good ones.
Buzzy,
good
this
story
one's for
to tell you
you.
about a restaurant I went to yesterday.
James wants to know, are the Sharks in the player market for anyone, and is Moylan locked in to a Super League move?
I don't think Moylan is locked in. I think he wants to stay in the NRL. He wants to stay at Cronulla. He loves it down there. Have heard the West Tigers. They got enough new harps. I'm told they've reached out to his manager, Alan Gainey, whether it was Scott Fulton, whether it was Benji, whether it was Tim Sheen. So
whether it was you on their behalf?
Pasco Fiasco or Big Lee, I don't know. But there has been contact made. I don't know. I don't think he wants to go to France.
Are they signing anyone, Buzz? They're pretty tight. They sort of focused on re-signings, right, the Sharks?
You know, I'm going to do a piece on this. The roster movement, I did that. Gus had sent 37 players to the pound, and the Canterbury views more players than any other club last 3 years.
Yeah.
Cronulla views the least amount of players the last 3 years. So what that would indicate to me is that they need a roster freshen up. Trouble is they've signed all their back five.
Yeah.
I think Cronulla's problem is the forwards.
I agree, yeah.
And I think all their forwards, their middles, aren't the modern Peter Volandi's new rule forwards. They're 40-minute players, and there's no Fisher Harris or Payne Haas or...
There's no punch. There's not enough punch in their forward pack, Buzz. I agree.
And having Wade Graham on edge, I could cope with him on the bench, but...
Bit of a necessity at the moment, wasn't it, with Woolton injured and...
That was a bad one.
Yeah, look, so what was the question, Mick?
Are they signing anyone? So
not that I'm aware of, no. They don't have the money to, mate. They've got Finucane on big money.
Yeah.
They've got Nico Hines on big money.
All right. Buzz, this one's for you.
Oh.
Dr. Zlatan, I'm not sure if he's an actual doctor or not. Will Buzz fight Gus for charity?
Well, can I say if I fought Gus, we'd be the wrong weight division for a starter because he's lost so much and stand up and show people. I'm still a little, I'm not going all that good.
I hope we got that one.
And I think you'd need a lot of ringside paramedics there because I reckon we could seriously hurt each other just through lack of fitness. I'm not going to fight Gus for charity.
Would sanction it personally.
No, I'm not going to fight Gus.
Would you like to have it back in the day? Would you have liked to have had a charity bout against someone?
We're both 65.
Yeah, the time's passed, right?
Well, I don't. As Mobsy said, I don't know. I've got 4 stents in my
Well,
ticker.
I'm not encouraging
You know?
it. I'm saying it's not a good idea. But I'm saying if you could go back in time.
I am going to a lunch next Friday at the Winks room for brain cancer research. And Gus is one of the speakers there. I could bump him in the bathroom. Who knows?
Will hip and
You're
shoulder.
going to follow him in.
Hey?
You're going to follow him in.
No, I'm not going to. But you get those awkward
There
situations.
might be a Q&A. You might be able to ask a question from the floor.
There's a car park and you've got to get in the lift and come down 2 floors. You know, what if we're in the lift together?
What would you say hello?
I last saw him at Bunnings about 2 years ago, and he was going up the Travelator, and I was coming down. And I
Double
put my
clothesline or
no, I said spotted. Yeah.
Did it,
Oh, he didn't care for a chat or anything. You know. Well, it was hard. You're not going to stop and chat.
But
on
did you
me.
get a smile or a nod or a?
I
anything?
can't recall. I didn't look for a reaction.
you
That
didn't
was
look
the
for a
Carry Bar
reaction.
Bunnings.
You know how I saw the other way? It was so bizarre. I was walking. I had the baby strapped into me.
Yeah.
I was walking the dog, and I do a circuit, and I was at walking down Mortdale Shops, and I was on the phone, and for some reason, like Sonny Bill lives in the area. He drove past me. I don't know Sonny at all, but you know when you see someone and you go hi, like I dead set just waved to him. He waved back.
Did he?
But, like
He probably thought you were a fan and wanted a
probably
selfie.
for sure. He waved back.
Surely he's seen
it
you
was-
on 360.
I've interviewed him before, but I don't know him. But it was just one of those, and I was like, what did I
Idiot.
do
What
that
was I
for?
doing?
Yeah, you're a
Hi,
goose.
Sonny.
I was like,
You
oh,
are a
mate,
dick.
I interviewed him one day at
Keep your readers' questions
when
coming.
I was at the leader. I interviewed him one day when
this
he was
is
when he was
boring.
boxing. Had his shirt off, and I was just staring at him like this. He was like he's
Physique.
oh my
Like
god,
looking
Wow.
into a mirror.
his quads are unbelievable. Anyway, Ryan wants to know: is it fair to say the 3 best players in the NRL are Munster, Cleary, and Mitchell?
Nope.
I'd have Reece Walsh in my top 3.
And I'd almost have on form. Kalen Ponga would be in my top 3. I think he's probably in. Yeah.
Who are we leaving out?
Oh, can we have a quadrella?
No, 3.
'Cause I'd throw Ponga and Walsh in with Cleary and Munster.
No, you get top 3.
Oh, we'll throw Munster out.
Wow.
No, I can't throw Munster
Wow.
out. Throw Ponga out.
Wow,
I
so you
think-
still got 4.
On form.
No, I don't.
On form,
No, I
I've got
don't.
Ponga, Walsh, and Cleary on form because I don't think Latrell hasn't played enough footy at the moment to
Here's
show.
producer
form.
Gab. I think you need to wind this up.
Yeah, we've got the Supercoach pod coming in afterwards with some Colonel. So
All right, last question. Random Dragon wants to know, why is it bad for a player manager to have many players at one club? I don't understand how they can have control over a roster if they have 7 players.
Well, they do have control over a roster. And, yeah, I don't like it.
It comes down to salary cap management, and if you've got all those players off contract at the one time and there's a fallout or whatever the case may be, they can drag those players out and it leaves you very vulnerable.
You
They
could get a
don't run the
nasty
club.
manager who will say, if you don't look after this guy, I've got 6 others here.
Correct.
So, you know, and
Yeah.
So there's two examples. One was obviously the big 4 at
Yep. That's
the
a prime
Tigers.
example.
That was the prime example. The other one is Manly, and to Reedy's point that there's not. He's man.
it's KFC out there.
Yeah, sorry.
That's right.
No, at Manly, his man. Help me out, Mick. Isaac Moses
Yeah.
may not have the Trebojeviches or DC, but he does have a cluster of players there. And then this is what happened. If a
Including
few of
Matt Lodge.
yeah, but if a few of
Aaron
your lesser
Woods.
lights are now getting all signed there, that could create salary cap issues. If they're getting a little bit more here, or if they're filling up spots that maybe someone else cheaper or more affordable or more suited could. That's where I think you fall into problems. So, yeah,
All right. Mobsy, that's it.
that's it. Dinner, Buzz. You got anything planned?
I went to a sensational restaurant yesterday for lunch
Yeah, you
called
told me.
Pino's in President Avenue around Cogger area. It was
this up.
outstanding. I'm going to tip it to you both. And you know what? I ate so much. I didn't have dinner last night, and I've had no breakfast, and I'm still not hungry.
My goodness.
That's how much I demolished.
What did you eat?
Hey?
What did you eat?
Mate, they put plates of meat out, sausages, chops, steak, lots of pasta, hot chips. But this was after the entrees.
Oh.
Johnny Lewis was with us, and there was so much meat We did him a doggy bag to take home, and mate, it was good. I'd highly recommend it. Dinner tonight, jungle chicken curry.
Oh wow, you're back, baby.
Yeah,
Right.
What's the go?
jungle chicken curry. What do you know? What the go is?
But where from?
Bangkok bites.
Have you found?
Bangkok bites.
Okay. All right.
I
Sorry.
want to get out there and knock off a bit of KFC.
All right. I'm at the 40, so I don't know what I'm doing. We'll be
Lemon chicken.
Well, my wife and I did impromptu Thai last night, so I
That
had
was a cruise, by the way.
yeah, she had a great time while I was at home looking after the kids and
Good.
across my birthday. So
bit doing.
yeah.
So what are you having tonight?
I don't know now. We're thrown out because it was going to be Thai night tonight, but I had pad kee mao last night, so
I've done it twice.
I don't
I
back up
was on
well.
the Gold Coast. I did curry, backed up the next night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Might get a
Nothing wrong with
laksa
that.
or something. What about a fried tofu laksa or something? Might be nice.
Yes.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Righto.
Righto. Well, thanks for joining us.
See you
Enjoy
all
your
next
footy.
week, guys.
We'll be back.
Which camera do I look at? No,